So you're a little guy that wants to learn how to draw. You search up some tutorials and watch them. Now what? Is that it? Have you gotten better? I mean, you watched the tutorial. Probably not. In this video, I'll be giving you a couple of steps you can follow so you can get the most out of the tutorials you watch. Even though I'm gonna be giving them as steps, you don't have to exactly follow them as is. Just know the thought process behind them and apply the ones that make sense to you as well. Step 0. Figure out what you need to even learn or get better at. Yep. We're starting from the basics. This isn't really something complicated though. If you're a complete beginner, literally any fundamental would go really. I personally recommend starting from anatomy. This may be kinda convenient coming from me since I make a lot of anatomy tutorials. But yeah, that's what I did, and I think it's a good idea since it's something that could stand out as its own. Now, if you're not a beginner and want to get better rather than completely starting fresh, the best way to figure it out is to draw. Either start by making a new drawing or look at your old drawings and see what's missing, what needs to be better, and or what gives you the hardest time to draw. It may be difficult to determine this yourself, I guess. So, a solution for that would be to have someone else give feedback or criticisms to you. But I have no friends, so I got no experience with this. The things you see or whoever's giving you the feedback sees could be one thing or multiple things. Still, just pick one. Step 1. Determine what you're going to search. So you know what you want to learn. Now it's time to search for a tutorial. I have talked about this in other videos as well, but the main idea is that you should be learning things separately if possible. This approach has two main advantages. 1. It will just be easier on you since it's simpler to focus on one thing than to try to tackle multiple things at once. 2. It's more feasible and realistic. My point is, if an 8-minute video is claiming that it can teach you, say, how to draw the whole human figure, the chances are a lot low that it's going to follow up on that claim. Don't get me wrong, it may still be a good video that teaches you a lot. I just don't think you can learn something so complex like this that easily. One disadvantage, I guess, is you may not be able to find some specific stuff. Like dividing, say, anatomy into separate parts is pretty simple, since you can just look for tutorials about individual body parts. But if you divide light into separate elements of it, you may not be able to find tutorials related to these. Still, just look for the specific thing first. If you can't find it, then look for the more general stuff. Obviously, all these I'm saying and will be saying applies to video tutorials, presumably on YouTube. I'll be going over tutorial sheets you may see on Pinterest or other platforms separately at the end. So yeah, pick a subject, preferably a smaller section of a fundamental, and search for it. Step 2. Watch. You found your tutorial. Now, just watch it. And try to understand what the artist is trying to teach. Like, what are you supposed to be able to draw after watching this tutorial? Or what's supposed to change from your art after this tutorial? If you can't really understand what you're supposed to learn, there may be two reasons for this. It's either the tutorial you're watching is not the best, and isn't effective at teaching, or it's something too advanced and you're just not able to understand it yet. If it's this case, just move on to a different video. It's fine to take it slow. You can check back on it later on. I have a separate video kind of talking about this and a few other stuff. So yeah, just watch the video and try to see what it's trying to teach you. Step 3. Observe how others apply. This is the step where you're gonna see how the knowledge is applied before you apply it yourself. Therefore, you have an idea of how it's supposed to be done. If the tutorial you watched is worthwhile, they should have at least showed a couple examples for this. But obviously that wouldn't be enough. You should go and look for your own examples to study from as well. This doesn't need to be complicated. You just have to look at the art of people who are, well, good at art. Could be manga or comic art, could be animation, could just be artists on the internet that you like. The last one would be the most convenient, I would imagine. Art is obviously subjective, and the only criteria here is whether if you yourself like their art, and would want your art to look similar, really. With that said, the higher mastery of the craft the artist has, the better. But yeah, just look at the art of these people and see how they apply the knowledge that you've learned to their art. Obviously, these drawings will have a lot more than just the one subject you're trying to see, so you're gonna have to do a lot of focusing, but that's also part of the training. If you can separate it, that means you can apply it onto your drawings as well. Observing may not be enough. You should try to copy their drawings as well. These are studies, obviously. If you're gonna post them, credit the artist if possible. That's that for this step. Step 4. Start applying it yourself. Now, instead of studying drawings of other people, you should start studying real-life photos. Reason why this step of using real life is so down in the order is because real life isn't very clear. All the shapes and visuals are too vague for a beginner with no prior knowledge to see and understand. If you go right to it, you're just not gonna be able to see anything. After learning the knowledge separately and also seeing how that knowledge is used, now you should be able to do it yourself as well. You can exaggerate or add your own interpretation to things, for example, just like how all the artists you've studied from does. If not, go back to the previous steps. After a while, you can even start trying to draw from your imagination. Step 5. Start using it on your drawings. I guess this is kind of an extension of step 4, but yeah, the best way to practice something is to use it on a project. It's the perfect test of if you've actually meaningfully learned it. Notice how we've come full circle. The first step was to do a project so you can see what you need to improve on, and now the last step is to do a project to see if you've improved on it. While doing this, you can also just think about the next thing you want to improve on as well. Now, one extra step. Make sure to collect resources other than videos. If you're someone who's self-taught and are trying to learn free, YouTube videos will probably be your main source of information. That said, there are other resources as well. A lot of artists make these small tutorial sheets with useful information on them and post them on various platforms. To be honest, these are kinda hit or miss since you may run into some really shitty stuff with these, but good ones are really good honestly. I have learned a decent amount from these. The actual main problem with these is that you can't really reach them directly. You kinda can, like you can search for them on Pinterest, but not everything will be on Pinterest usually. So yeah, make sure to keep these in mind as well and save them when you run into them. The way you're supposed to learn from them is exactly the same though. Look and read the information, see how other artists use this information, see how it is on real life, and then use it on your own projects. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope my yapping was useful to any of you. Unrelated, but I have recently opened a gaming channel, so check it out if you'd be interested. Thank you for watching till the end. Have a nice day.